Angel, a peaceful life is your most valuable asset. So, how are you protecting it? Are you even assessing it properly? Hmm? And of course, when we're talking about peace and a peaceful life, we're talking about an active peace, which, of course, is the presence of justice as opposed to a passive peace, which is the absence of discomfort. Because there might be a little discomfort despite your life being peaceful, but that doesn't mean it isn't an insanely valuable asset, your most valuable asset, in fact. Yeah, so powerful. I looked up what a valuable asset is, and it is anything of significant worth or utility and provides a present, future, or potential benefit. Are you thinking of your peaceful life like that? Have you even been taught to value that? I was watching this movie. No, I wasn't. I was watching Twilight Zone, okay? And it's this episode called A Little Peace and Quiet. And um, in this episode, it follows this mom who she has like 3 kids and a husband, and she's a busy mom. She's getting the kids ready for school, making sure the dog is fed. The husband comes around and is like, honey, you said you were going to iron my shirt and the washing machine is broken. You said you were going to call the guy, blah, blah, blah. And um, it's so loud. It's so hectic. She takes the kids and she goes to the grocery store, and the kids are like, I want that. I want that. And like, she runs into people with her cart by accident. She's just so, people are like, hey, like, get your kids that, stop, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Then the mom in this Twilight Zone episode, she finds a amulet, a necklace, and she puts it on. And one time, like, the noise is just everyone's kind of yelling at her for her attention. And she finally is like, shut up. And everything goes silent. Not only does it go silent, everything stops. They all freeze. And she's like, oh my gosh. She tests it a few times. She uses it next time she's in the grocery store. Things get real hectic, and like, so everything's frozen. Everything's quiet. She's finally like, oh my gosh. And she goes, gets her groceries, just leaves the money on the table, and like walks out and drives home, puts her groceries away in peace and quiet. And that's just all she wanted. How many people are like, how many parents, how many, of course, single mothers are like, they just want a moment of peace and quiet. I bet even the thought of it sounds like a fantasy. You're like, what? The idea of taking a nap, you're like, okay, it probably brings up some like epigenetic trauma response, this fear of resting, this fear of taking a nap. So yeah, the idea of a peaceful life is something that we're not taught to sit in. We're taught to be so distracted by the noise of everyday life that we don't have a chance to like sit and like and just not have anything calling on our attention. I was thinking about how lucky I am. So there's this episode of Twilight Zone that's about this woman who is just, she would give anything for a little peace and quiet, for a peaceful life. She has the house, she has the children, she has the husband, she has the pets, she has the, social community esteem, but she doesn't have a peaceful life. And that's just so freaking valuable, man. I was also thinking about recently, there's this creator on YouTube called The Wizard Liz, and she's a very powerful manifester, very beautiful, and she has, manifested, created all of this wealth for herself. She also, believed she had manifested a partner, but she's actually going through a very public, like, kind of breakdown. The partner, like, she ended up getting pregnant, and right after that, it came out that the partner had been cheating on her the whole time and was like trying to trap her and kind of steal her money. And so now she has had the baby, and because of the US immigration laws, she had to go back to her country to reapply for her green card, and she couldn't take her baby with her. The ex wouldn't let her take the baby with her, and so she's like, kind of like, she's like, I keep, begging him, like, I'm gonna pay for his flight to, come to Europe, just like, please bring the baby. And, she's really stressed. And I'm like, girl, come on. I respect her. I'm super glad that she is like sharing this struggle. But, I would be like, okay, what's the thing that's stressing you out? What's the thing that is this abusive guy is using this baby to try to control you and, you know, disrupt your peace? Let him be a single father. He wants to be a single dad so much. He wants to make it so difficult for you as the mother to have a relationship with your child. Okay, let him enjoy single fatherhood. You go live your life. You're in control of all of this. You don't have to consent to this difficult back and forth, this contentious custody battle. Nah, just let him have it. In fact, the universe is seeing, like, what do you value? Do you value this, this child, this relationship, how people might think of you? Or do you value your peace? Wizard Liz, she has like this, a Lamborghini, and worth a lot of money, of course. But does it matter if she has this stressful living situation going on all the time? I was just thinking about like how, oh my God, my life is just so peaceful, and it's such an asset. It truly is wealth. And I feel like I am resonating and reaching people who also are prioritizing or would like to prioritize a peaceful life for them, a peaceful life for themselves. So, I don't be checking the 3D. I know it's a, illusion. It's an echo of our past assumptions and manifestations. And so I don't pay it too much mind. And so I, realize like the only tweets I have to worry about that come across my consciousness are the Cardinals and the Blue Jays tweeting away around me. Ooh. The only time I have to hear a man's voice and deal with a man is when it's from my beautiful husband, who is asking me, what he can do to make me happy, if I need anything, if he can make me breakfast, if he can help me, share my messages, how he can help me be seen better, how I would like to. That's the only time I have to interact with a man. The only children who are ever pulling on my energy is my inner child, who now feels safe enough to be seen, be held, to play, to be able to be fully expressed. That's the only the only children who are ever pulling on my energy. Ooh, and it's so, so powerful. So powerful. So like it's so powerful, valuable, your most valuable asset. So valuable asset, anything that provides significant worth or utility and provides a personal future or potential benefit. And so because you have this peaceful life, because you have been, putting up your boundaries, when someone, from your family, from your job, from, your community, your church or something calls you trying to check in, you just ignore it. Because you see the value of a peaceful life. When you have a peaceful life, you can think. You can finally connect with source. You can heal. You can start trusting your intuition. You can start hearing your intuition. You're not moved by every distraction from the matrix. You're constantly able to stay in flow, in connection with source, in this like strong current of energy, peaceful. I looked up like what like peace and quiet, like it signifies tranquility, and a life that's free of disturbances, free of disruption. So you don't have your boss calling. The only higher up that is trying to communicate with you is source, is God, is spirit, is your higher self. And they don't micromanage. They're the chillest, coolest higher up ever. They recognize the benefit of a peaceful life. Yeah. And so when you have a peaceful life, you're able to just like receive the information. The downloads just pop in. You start to realize what other valuable assets you have. When you have a peaceful life, when you've been nurturing this valuable asset, you're able to see what else you have, what other valuable assets you might have. You're not constantly like striving and operating in lack and worried about what you don't have, because you see you have it all. People give anything for a moment of peace and quiet. They have to make Twilight Zone episodes about this magical situation in which this woman finally has the ability to create peace and quiet in her life. And you're just doing it effortlessly. You're just doing it naturally. And so I'm here to affirm you, because I know it can sometimes be like everyone else has bought into this hectic, urgent, I've got all these notifications, I've got all these obligations, all of these things, and you're not being moved by it. And so people might think you're mean or standoffish or, crazy. They don't know what you're doing. They are like annoyed at how stubborn you are, how, you don't move just because other people want you to. You determine whether or not it is going to add to your peaceful life, whether it is going to help your valuable asset appreciate in value or depreciate. So once you start to value your peaceful asset, your peaceful life as a valuable asset, like you would a Lamborghini, for example, you wouldn't let just anybody come and drive your Lamborghini, would you? Doesn't matter if they're your sibling or your parent or a rich person or your friends. If they are going to eat a bunch of messy foods in your car, if they're gonna crash it, if they're gonna put cigarettes out in it, make it stink, make it dirty, then they are making your asset depreciate in value. They are depreciating the value of your Lamborghini. So if a person is coming in here and disrupting your peaceful life, what are they doing there? Why are you letting that happen? You're the one who's supposed to be protecting your assets, certainly your most valuable assets. So start to get more strict with who you allow to engage with your valuable asset, the valuable asset of your peaceful life. How do you like this lighting? I'm trying different setups. I saw Billy do an episode out here this morning, and we have this little fancy light here, and I think it just adds to, I don't know, the ethereal, mystical energy that my life is just always giving. Oof. So yeah, your peaceful life is your most valuable asset. So make your boundaries strict. You wouldn't just let anyone around or drive your car. You're not going to just let anyone in your house. So how come you're going to let just anybody disrupt your peace? And so, yeah, I had said this is an active peace rather than a passive peace. Passive peace. Active peace, the presence of Hi. My cute neighbors who are going to take the mulberries from my tree and make it into some jam for me. Oh, I love that. Okay, so an active peace, the presence of justice rather than a passive peace, which is the absence of discomfort. And, like I have this amazing, peaceful life. And, this past month, I've been a fitness girly, okay? I've been walking 3 miles on the treadmill every day and then doing some planks, like 5 minutes. Um, and there are times in that when it's uncomfortable. I'm sweating. I don't really have like the workout clothes anymore. I have like one like thing that has a bra and like, I'm not trying to like wash laundry very frequently, but I'm just gonna ask Billy to do it. But so today I just literally I was like walking with like I was holding my boobs as I'm like walking on the treadmill. And so it's a little uncomfortable. But you know what makes it easier? I just have this amazing life. I, you know, bring people into my life who only make my valuable asset, my peaceful life, appreciate. And so as I'm on the treadmill, which my husband bought because he used to be a trainer, and he just had it in his office, I was like, let me use that. So I'm just like wearing a sports bra and, my socks and my tennis shoes. But I'm like not wearing any bottoms. I'm just in my house. Who cares? And so like my husband is over there. I'm like sweaty, walking on the treadmill. It's kind of hard. And then my husband's just like, oh, you're so sexy. I'm such a lucky man. Makes it much easier to work out when it's like, ooh, like your partner is like, ooh, so turned on and just like so into what you're doing. It's powerful. Anyway, it's all to say. Doesn't mean there isn't going to be discomfort. It's a little uncomfortable when I have to ignore a phone call. It's a little uncomfortable knowing that, like, when I decline invitations, that people are going to be like, oh, are they mad? Oh, they're so unreasonable. Oh, they're so this. Don't care. It might be reasonable to many people to have these hectic, stressful, unpeaceful lives. But I'm not here to be reasonable. I'm here to be powerful. I'm here to be sovereign. I'm here to be magical. I'm here to be free. Oh my God, I can see the moon. I love when it's like light out and the moon is just chilling. It's so beautiful. Such a beautiful contrast. So, yeah, like it's a little uncomfortable. Everyone else is just they will let Zionists, fair weather Zionists, supporters of Israel, MAGA people, they will still work with those people. They will still answer calls from those people. They will still try to like shake hands, reach across the aisle to engage with people whose goal is to support a violent, racist, imperialist terrorist state. So sure, it's a little uncomfortable to ignore them, to be like, you're gross, get away from me. To be like, don't speak to me. You're crazy. It might be a little uncomfortable, but it's just because you're not used to it. We're taught to just like, oh, whatever the power structure is, whoever we say has more authority, we have to kind of just make sure we don't run afoul of them and, oh, don't say anything they don't like. Girl, please, please. We are about an active peace here, which is the presence of justice. So it is not just for you to keep silent about your oppression. So you are going through the discomfort of standing up for yourself, of repelling people who do not resonate with you. Yeah, of standing on business, of doing differently than the crowd, of validating yourself before other people validate you. And it's going to be worth it. The discomfort that comes with working out and exercising pays off. It improves your quality of life. It improves your peace. Part of a peaceful life is having your health, being healthy, your body being able to move easily and painlessly. You could have everything. And if you have like chronic pain or some health ailment, kind of doesn't really matter. You don't have peace. You're never able to just like relax, be present, feel safe, feel tranquil, feel in flow. So yeah. Yeah, and you're not looking for a passive peace like the Israelis who are like happy to steal and rob and murder and lie and essay and gaslight everyone and just like try to like turn up the radio so they don't hear like the screams of the people whose homes they're stealing. Close the blinds so they don't see the rubble of the destruction they've wrought. But that's not peace for you. You're looking for justice out here, babe. So you're using your power to make things more just, restore the balance, bring peace to all of us, bring peace to the ecosystem, harmony to the ecosystem. And that's such a valuable asset. People will pay a lot of money to figure out how to have a peaceful life. And look at you. It's all around you. You've been cultivating it. You look around in the 3D and you see the evidence of this peaceful life that you have developed, you have cultivated, you have nurtured this valuable asset. And it's going to keep paying off in spades and spades and spades, as long as you protect it, as long as you value it appropriately, okay? Anyway, I've delivered the message. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. Yeah, start valuing your peace more, all right? I'll talk to you, Earth Angels, later, okay? Love you.